bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right, how you doing? Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, June 22nd. 172 days into the new year. Just 193 days left. And we are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? It's Thursday. It's another Fadernight with Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live, followed by open lines all night long. The call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Phone lines are lighting up already, man. Everybody chill out. Chill. I'll open up the lines in about an hour. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Simple enough. At JChurch Radio. You can follow, like, and subscribe over on our website. Click on the buttons. Go and do it. Hang out in the sandbox tonight with us on Twitter. We use TweetDeck here. All right? Well, TweetDeck is Twitter, but it's another version of Twitter called TweetDeck. It's made by Twitter. So, all right, let's get comfortable. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ is Fade to Black questions. Any questions or comments, just throw it up there in F2BQ. Hashtag F2BQ. If you need to use email, people still do that these days. That is Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. If you've got the super secret decoder ring email because you're a Fadernaut and you did that in our membership area, you can use that email too. And that's a secret email. Yeah, don't share it with your friends. Well, it comes into me a special way, too, as well. So I know it's you. All right. Subscribe to our podcast. We have over 670. Man, after today, what is it? We're up to 680 archive shows, custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms, just $2 a month. All right, very simple, elegant, nice. Just go and download the app that you need from iTunes or the Google Store and head over to Libsyn and do your thing over there, $2 a month. Or the alternative, or you could do both, or is become a Fadernaut. Just go to our membership area on our website. Very simple. Choose your poison and become a Fadernaut. Hello to everybody that's in on the bunker cam tonight. And that includes, see, you get the bunker cam for free if you just become a Fadernaut. That's all you got to do. You get it Thursday nights, Fadernight. See, I'm using my Miss America wave. That's how they do it right there. Yeah, so come on over, hang out with us. It's simple. You get the bunker cam. We do monthly drawings. This month we're doing getthetea.com. We're going to do a life change tea care package. And so that's what is in the running this month. And you get autograph hats, T-shirts, all that stuff. Whatever you want to do, you can do it in our membership area, but it helps support the show. Always remember that. We do 4 shows a week, 4 3-hour shows per week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's insane, and it's free. You just go to our website, click on the website, there it is, a live show for free. How cool is that? You want to listen on TuneIn or KGRA or Spreaker. We have archives on iHeartRadio, right? We have YouTube. It's all there. It's all available. That's the way this show is. We don't hide behind a paywall. No, sir. That is not what happens here. And that's why one of the reasons why that this audience is so big. It's because you guys know that you can come in here every single night, Monday through Thursday, live, 7 p.m., drop dead, this show starts. And you come and hang out with us. That's it. How wonderful is that? Well, just support the show. We are able to do that with the best guests, the best programming, the best everything that we can offer, right, is done because of our sponsors. Never forget that. All right, the podcast helps, YouTube helps, little things help here and there. But the main thing is our advertisers, and they are the best. Life Change Tea, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, Studio Dome speakers, all of them. And everybody else that advertises on this show, right? Okay. Sponsors are Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, River Moon Coffee, New Pharma, and Studio Dome. They sponsor the show. Think about that. All right? And it's so cool when we go out and hang out with you guys and somebody whips out a Studio Dome speaker. Somebody whips out some Life Change Tea. Somebody whips out some River Moon Coffee. It's so cool when that happens. So just thank you for all of the support. Next week, 1 week from today, we will be at the ECETI Ranch for their July 4th Science, Spirit, and World Transformation Conference. 1 week from today. 1 week from today, we're going to be hanging out with all of you guys up there at the ECETI Ranch. So, do you want to go? I know you want to go. You want to figure out how to get there, where to stay, food, all of that stuff. Go and click on the banner right now on our site. It's the green banner. It says 2017 on it, ECETI. Can't miss it. Click on that for tickets and info. Can't wait. Ticket sales have been great, and the attendance is going to be amazing. But just hanging out with you Fadernauts at the ECETI Ranch is what makes all of this special for us. I want to share all of this with you guys. I want to be able to come back to the bunker and say, what a weekend we had up at ECETI with the Fadernauts. Was that crazy? Was that nuts? Was that fun? Exactly. All right, go now. Tickets and info over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right. Oh, where am I? Let's get this show cracking. Let's just get this thing started. Let's get this party started. Today, Cyndi Lauper is 64. Is that retirement age? Cyndi Lauper. Think about that. Did you ever think in 1983 when her videos were all over MTV that one day I will be saying happy birthday to Cyndi Lauper, who is 64? Oh, man, that is crazy. Crazy. I met her once. She's real cool. Today, Bruce Campbell, 59 years old. Bruce B-Movie Campbell. Evil Dead. One of my favorites, Bubba Hotep. Army of Darkness. Huh? Who got the... And he got the Bruce Campbell up there quick. Justin, that's good, man. That's good. There's some more Bruce Campbell up there on Twitter. Pretty cool. Yeah, Bubba Hotep. Also today, Chris Christopherson is 81. And I love Chris. All of the Peck and Paw films. I love Chris. But it's the movie Millennium that trips me out. Time travel flick. And that movie is amazing. It's an amazing time travel movie. And there's a lot of time travel movies out there. I get that. But Millennium, that's a cut above everything else. Chris Christopherson today. Happy birthday. You're 81 years old. All right. On this day in history, OTD. 2011 happened right here in Southern California. Boston mobster Whitey Bulger is arrested in Santa Monica, California. Living the good life, too. Had an apartment. They go, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was huge news here in Southern California. And he's living right there in Santa Monica, of all places. And they go and they tear down his wall, and he had cash, millions of dollars stashed in the walls of his house with, automatic weapons. Crazy story. And there you go. That new movie with Johnny Depp is pretty intense. There you go. Whitey Bulger arrested here in Southern California in 2011. Fader fact: the average United States household has over 300,000 objects. Yes, everything from paper clips to lawnmowers. 300,000 objects in the average United States household. There you go. That's a Fader fact. Thought you'd enjoy that. Tonight's another Fader night. Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live, followed by open lines all night long. Call-in numbers are 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Now, yes. The alien mummy video. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff going on right now. And we'll be talking about it all night long. So there you go. Millennium. That's pretty cool. All right. There you go. Well done. I don't know how you found that, but that's exactly it. That's the movie. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's probably all over YouTube for free. You can probably go watch it. But anyway, the alien mummy video. I'm calling it the alien mummy video. Okay. Gaia Television is not. They're calling it Gaia Unearthed or Unearthing Nazca. That's what it is. Nazca Unearthed. But, man, I don't know what's going on with my studio texting service. It just crashes. It just crashes. It's got to be a Windows 10 thing. And, okay. The alien mummy video. As of 5 o'clock today, 5 o'clock, an additional 13 million views. 13 million. For a total, officially now, over 20 million views. What does that tell you? I mean, it's such an extraordinarily large number. I can't really wrap my head around that to hit a number like that. 20 million views. That's real. I don't know. I'm 50 of those views. So how many individuals watched it? I don't know. What is it? Probably 1 million people, 2 million people, everybody watching it 20 times. Or are they doing unique individual views? I don't know if that's possible to tabulate. But nonetheless, it's up to 20 million views. And the conversation that it has stimulated, not only in this community, but around the world, is amazing. Now, I like the mass coverage on this because it makes it difficult for things to get funky. Okay? For things to get funky. Not only for Gaia, right? Gaia can't play around now. It's too exposed. The government can't play around. It's too exposed. Peru, where the mummy is, I think, can't play around. It's too visible. That's the part that there's many parts, but that's one of the parts that I really, really, really dig. And I need you to think about that for a second. Now you can't get funky. Things have to ride out. You can't back out. You can't backpedal. You can't do anything but move forward. And that's the exciting part. You can't do anything but that. You can't do anything but move forward. Any interference, any sidestep, any pushback, anything funky, then somebody's a martyr, right? Somebody took one for the team. Somebody, and I say that in a metaphorical sense, right? You just can't do that. If you do anything else funky here, then somebody's going to be able to say, see, it was a hoax. It was fake. It was done for money. It was done for clicks. We have that. If the mummy disappears, right? If that happens, right? And we have to stand with the evidence that we have today, this story will never go away. It'll never die. The other part of it is because, for me, I think that it is so visible now that Gaia, which I expect Gaia to do this anyway, but Gaia now has to do a complete body of testing open to the public. I think all test results need to be published. Things are going to have to move on to the peer-reviewed level of stuff. But here's the difference, and I've driven this home a couple of days now. But this is the difference. With everything that we have had in the past, everything, the Roswell slides, the alien autopsy video, the MJ-12 documents, we can go on and on and on and on and on. With everything that has ever come forward, this time we have something physical and organic. Now, we've never had that before. So we are sitting here. Now, I don't know. But we are sitting on that. And that is about the most exciting thing that we could be in a position to have. To be able to today. Now, let's turn back the clocks. 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, we did the UFO roundtable here on the show. And it got me to thinking today. That's where we were 2 weeks ago, upset about, groups and individuals out there, being activated or triggered or acting trippy and trying to separate this community and trying to drive wedges in between us and talking smack about Gaia or talking smack about different conferences, or MUFON had their issues. Those were all in play 2 weeks ago. Right? Come back from contact in the desert, and it's just, feeling great. Had a wonderful, wonderful time out there to just have things taken apart. Or people trying to do that. That's what we were talking about. Today, that's all a distant memory. How quickly things change. Right? How quickly do they change? Today. So, everybody out there that was causing ripples or trying to cause ripples have now been forgotten. Yesterday's news. Distant memory. Distant. Gone. How great is that? How awesome is that? Like I have said, no negativity, only positivity. That's it. And that's what we have today. So today, we are able to ponder, question, wonder, test, analyze, investigate. We're back to where we needed to be. Now, we can debate this, we can argue this, we can wonder this, we can sit around and pound vodka shots and chain smoke cigarettes till late in the morning and just wonder and discuss this like life should be. That's what we need, man. And we got it back. I love it. Let's debate. Let's talk. What if, right? What if we are back to that? You ever wonder what it would be like, right? If you're driving down the freeway, right over your city, a 10-mile flying saucer in diameter just flies across the city. flies up into the clouds. You know, you're waiting for that one day, right? Well, my friends, it may have just happened. It may have just happened. Now, I don't know, right? I don't know. The one thing that I want to come out of this, that's it. The one thing only. I want that to be a mummy that is 1,800 years old, that was just dug out of the ground, that is 1,800 years old and is intact and is organic and has not been messed with. That's it. That's all I want. I just want that. Because if we have that, if we have a 3-fingered mummy, human or not, I don't care about that part. That's the gravy. That's the icing on the cake. I just want this to be a mummy with 3 fingers and 3 toes. That's all that I want. Alien DNA. I don't care. How do we even prove alien DNA? We don't have any alien DNA, so we don't have anything to compare it to. But if it's just an intact 1,800-year-old mummy, that's all I want. Fingers are crossed. That's it. Intact skeleton, and then we get to analyze this thing for the next few years and debate and argue and fight. Whoa, man. Hoofa. There's your flying saucer on the White House lawn. Think about that. Whatever happens after, it's all gravy. It's all gravy. All I want is that, you know, 4-1. I mean, seriously, if we are given that gift, and that is exactly what it is a 3-fingered, 3-toed mummy, intact, that is 1,800 years old, that nobody can explain. Oh, man. That is a Hank Aaron home run, man, right there. That is an A.J. Foyt 6th winning of the Indy 500. That is the big man. And so if that does happen, and it's likely that it will, but if it, and I'm not saying it is, but if that happened, where are we sitting now? Is that the biggest discovery in the history of the known universe? You know, does this trump King Tut? Does it? Wow. I don't know. You know, I don't know. So today I did an interview. I will announce everything tomorrow where you can go see it and stuff. But I did an interview today. And this is, and of course, the question of the alien mummy came up. And what I said was this. And this is kind of what I want us all to do here. This is what I want us all to do. Let's not be objective. Let's not be in the middle. Okay? What I want us to do is take a big step to the left, to the extreme, not to the Democratic left, to the left of this is too good to be true. Let's assume the position there that this is too good to be true. The other positions would phase all the way over, go all the way over to the right, and the position would be this is an alien mummy. Okay, so that's the extreme. Too good to be true on one side, all the way over on the other side is this is an alien mummy. We need to start this time around. We've learned from the past. Let's start all the way to the left. Too good to be true. And let me tell you why. Because if it's too good to be true and things start to pan out, well, it's a real mummy, it's this, it's that, it's DNA checks out, carbon-14, this, artifact, blah, 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 and we start to peg and move over to the right as things are confirmed, then we get happier, right? Okay? But if we start on the right and we start in this is an alien mummy side, and this thing starts to get torn apart, then we get disappointed, emotions start flaring, people start pointing fingers, accusations. You know what? No, we don't need to. Let's let's stop with that. Let's stop with that. Let's not go there. Okay? Let's start on the left in that this is too good to be true. Let's just start there. All right? Mark Toronto just said, all me have at the moment is a possible mummy. Yep. Well, if we've got 2 minutes here before I got to get out of here for Rappoport. Looking at the video and looking at the CAT scans and that right there, looking at that, how do you recreate? How do you get? I suppose anything is possible. But to get the reconstruction, you'd have to build a fake skeleton or get a real skeleton and alter it somehow, and make the hands and feet, and have to make that anatomically make sense. I've looked at a lot of X-rays. I've looked at a lot of deformities. We'll be talking about that and posting some of the stuff that we have found during the show tonight. Looked at a lot of that, and none of it. I've looked at a lot of medicals. None of it looks like the CAT scans and what is shown in this video. That I can assure you. It's the bone structure. Forget about hands, but it's how to make everything, correct, right? And how it lines up. And man, and when you look at deformities, to get 3 fingers, the deformity is two things fused together underneath the skin, and then 1 finger grows out of it. But when you see the X-ray, there's 4 fingers there, right? But they grow into 2 or 3. But underneath this, back in the hand part where the palm is, there's still 4 bones there, right? So to recreate that and then to cover it with a skin and showing age and all, man, I don't know. I think it would be obvious that this was just fake. So, but that's me. That's just looking at this video. I don't know. The video is eye candy. It's great. It's awesome. But where do we go from here? So we'll be talking about this all night on the show. I know everybody's got something to say about this, which is fine. I want to hear everything. We need to be skeptical. I want people to go out there, take that video apart, frame by frigging frame, break it down, get to the bottom of it. I've already gotten some information on that too as well. And pick it apart. Let's do that. Let's try to break this down so we don't get heartbroken later, Or is it the real thing? That's what we're here to talk about tonight. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back with Jon Rappoport. It's Fadernight. It's Thursday. Let's do this, man.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. Let's wind the clocks back 60 years. Food was different. Food provided health and nutrition, and using supplements was minimal. Unfortunately, now we have chemicals, GMOs, herbicides, and pesticides that can be quite lethal in the name of our food supply and, of course, the ever-loving dollar. Supplementing our diets can be very important to stay healthy. Cleansing from daily intruders to the body might be critical. Live strong and take charge. Log on to getthetea.com. Our herbal tea is a great way to cleanse from intruders. Our supplements is a great way to maintain and improve your health. When your health is not up to par, go to getthetea.com. No GMOs, no fillers, and organic, and very helpful in keeping you at the top of your game. Life is too short to feel, you know what I mean. Stay in the game, at the top of your game with getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Again, getthetea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Win big with KGRA this summer. Tickets and hotel accommodations to the biggest conferences, autographed books and DVDs, chances to win all-inclusive conference cruises, and private dinners with your favorite KGRA hosts. Click the contest tab at kgraradio.com for your chance to win big this summer. Your contact for the best alternative talk radio on the planet. kgraradio.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Matthew, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world, as it is fed to us every single day by the Ministry of Truth, is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash, they all go down, and we see the light of day, a new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good to be here, folks. So before we went on the air, Jimmy and I were talking about this alien mummy whatever in Nazca, Peru, south coast of Peru. A group from Gaia.com, headed up by Jay Widener, who is an old friend of mine. We're from way back in the 1990s, early 1990s. And a crew and a forensic scientist, journalist, film crew, and some Russians who were along or who were analyzing the DNA. A body, mummified. Confirmed, apparently, that it is mummified. It's not just decayed. A female, according to reports of the ongoing DNA analysis, and in a huddled position. I'm sure that many of you have seen the video. There are several videos and updates from Gaia. It's an ongoing investigation, and they state clearly that they're just curious to find out what this is, whatever the result. But the thing is, it's got 3 fingers, 3 long fingers. So what's going on there? Also, it seems to have traces or outlines of organs intact, internal organs, which would not be present in a usual mummified corpse. But here, either the organs, some remnants are still present, or there are outlines available to see with x-rays. One Russian scientist has, and also a Latin American scientist has stated that the mummification process appears to be similar to that was undertaken in ancient Egypt. So because of the three fingers and also because of the major elongation of the large skull, there is a question, what is this? Is it human? Is it non-human? What is it? It certainly looks humanoid from looking at the exterior. It doesn't look like it's, an animal or some creature, the likes of which, would be completely different from anything we've ever seen. It's rather strange, wouldn't you say? Quite strange. 3 fingers, and there's been some commentary already, which I can't verify with proof, that the elongation of the skull does not appear to have taken place in the way of certain ancient cultures who did it with ropes or boards to babies to elongate the shape of the skull, because the skull seems to be, quote, naturally elongated, and it's large. The volume appears to be greater than that which you would achieve with elongation. Take that for what it's worth. What else? Made some notes here. The art of the region in Peru is, of course, very interesting because there are on the ground these giant geoglyphs, which are drawings, gigantic drawings that go on and on and on of birds, humanoid-ish type figures drawn rather basically, you would say, outlines. What are they? Who was able to put those on the ground, covering great distances without getting up in the air and seeing, how the drawing is proceeding? Also, in the general Peruvian region, there are, of course, other anomalies such as gigantic walls, which are made of closely fitted rocks that, and now we'd be talking about each rock being tons, and the rocks being transported over large distances and fitted very tightly to one another. How was that possible? So the strangeness of all of this fits together. There are many examples of graphic art in the region that show creatures, iconic, stylized creatures with 3 fingers, like the mummy. Okay, so the DNA analysis is continuing. We don't have a final report there. A couple of curiosities. Apparently, the Gaia team feels, or perhaps they've been rebuffed, there are no, as far as I know anyway, no American DNA labs doing any analysis here. It seems all the DNA analysis seems to be taking place in Russia, perhaps some locally in Peru, I don't know. There is a claim, which again I cannot verify, that one of the forensic scientists on the team, who would apparently be from either Peru or Mexico, and a Mexican journalist along, were involved in another case several years ago of a claimed mummy that turned out not to be a mummy. I don't know if that's true. That's a claim. So there's what I can lay out for you so far. it's quite interesting to look at this mummified figure. So normally I go on here for a half hour, but I'd like to call Jimmy in because he's been on this to get his response to this whole thing, and maybe we can go back and forth here.
I'm right here, man. I'm pins and see. This is the thing, John. You're the best, man. So I want the audience to know I never know what John is going to talk about. That is our agreement. I want to be surprised, and I want to enjoy John's segment along with everybody else, right? And so, but we do talk every day, and we do that. And the subject came up about the alien mummy. I was like, man, have you checked out this video, right? And so there you go. So when you started talking about it tonight, John, I was like, oh, man, what's he going to say? I was like, here we go. And I was going to break in. I was going to do something like, hey, John, man, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast tomorrow night with Widener. Let's chill. But I didn't have to do that. And you're very objective with that. Now, let me ask you this, because you've done so much of the leading medical research over the years. When you do something like attempt, if somebody tried to attempt to fake a giant skeleton or try to create a 3-fingered hand or a third eye on a skull, whatever it could be, right? I mean, how easy is it to fool the medical community with that? I mean, that's just a stupid thing to do, right? If you're going to use cow bones or animal bones or try to restructure something like this, you're just going to get caught, right? I mean, you can't fake that.
Yeah, here's the thing, right. If it was an attempt at fakery, I would think that in the, by the way, the carbon dating on this, I think puts it roughly somewhere around 250 AD, 300 AD, something like that,
right.
This mummy. If you're going to fake this, then you're probably going to need to have fake labs. In other words, somebody who is going along with it,
right?
Who's doing the DNA sequencing,
right?
Who's doing the X-rays,
right?
Who's doing the carbon dating. You really want to have, and I remember another case like this years ago, you want to have multiple labs.
You have to.
Now, I don't know whether this team has multiple labs, but you want to have them independent of one another if you really want to get a take on this. My understanding is, first of all, that carbon dating, the science of carbon dating is overrated. So it's possible that orthodox academics in that field assume that they're better than they are. But when it comes to DNA sequencing and X-rays and the kind of fakery that one would think, we're going to fake 3 fingers, we're going to concoct a skull out of pieces, that this would be easily discoverable if you had, straight labs operating here.
Yeah, I would think. Now, the doctor that they have in this video that is looking at the CAT scans, she's from the University of Colorado in Boulder, right? Now, she's her CV and her credentials, that's easy to check out. And now I know I'm going out on a limb here. I mean, I'm extending way too much courtesy here and being nice, but the University of Colorado is not going to take a black eye, right? There's no way.
I wouldn't think so, no.
And now I'm not trying to give too much credit here, but that's the University of Colorado in Boulder. We're not talking about a school in Grenada, right? That's not what we're talking about here. And that was a pretty interesting take to bring in somebody like that in such a crazy field as this, which is a 3-fingered alien mummy, possibility here. And or was she misled and not told that? That's
I wondered about that too. How much does she know?
Right.
She was mainly, let's see, as I recall, she was commenting on the skull.
Right.
And she was saying that it didn't appear to her that there were any breaks in the skull. It seemed to be of one piece.
No sutures.
No sutures, right.
No sutures, which is always something that is interesting that when we're dealing with boarding and elongated skulls, what happens to the sutures, because some elongated skulls have had no sutures. All human skulls have sutures, right? And so some skulls have been found without them. So that's okay. Let's put that part to the side. Here's the other thing for me, and you brought up the number one for me. Carbon dating being 100% accurate is one thing. But if you're going to have a specimen like this and you're going to bring it forward, you're going to have all of your material on this thing dating the same, right? The internal organs, the bones, the skin, anything organic, any material that maybe it all has to line up, right? And how much work do you put into to make sure that you have 1,800-year-old carbon-dated material that you're going to build this thing out of, including the skeleton itself?
Yes. But, again, there's a lot of missing information here. I don't know how many samples from the mummy were actually separately carbon-dated. I don't know whether the team sent them, like 16 different samples or 2 or 1. But yes, I mean, obviously, if you were going to try to fake this and actually get over with it, you would want to have all the material, all the matter of the dummy, external and internal, from the same time period, which, if we're assuming that it's fairly old.
Right.
Where are you going to get that much stuff? I don't know. How would you do that? It doesn't. I wouldn't know how to do that. That's for sure.
Now, for you, an educated adult, you've been around the block a couple of times. Your job is to look through the BS of our life and sort through it. That's you. That's Jon Rappoport. So when you look at this video and you look at the mummy in itself in its totality, externally, and you combine that with the skeletal stuff that we have with the CAT scans, are you impressed? If it's a hoax, somebody did a really good job, didn't they?
Yeah, I would say my first reaction was I'm impressed. My second reaction is let's see the result of the DNA sequencing, and let's see it from 3 or 4 different labs and see what they say. One of the things that I found curious, and maybe, you've got some wisdom on this, when they, it's a female. They discovered it was a female.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this were some kind of alien creature, non-human, what's going on there? Because on the one hand, they seem to be saying we're looking at DNA which is humanoid DNA and we can see that it's a female because we're looking at that kind of DNA that we're very familiar with. But on the other hand, if it's actually some kind of bizarre alien DNA, then how would they be able to determine so quickly that it was a female? Well, how would they know? What would they be looking for?
Right. Now, here's the other part. If it is female, now we can check the mitochondrial DNA. And that is, and compare that to human DNA. Right? That opens up so many other doors and exciting possibilities. This is the thing, John, with DNA testing. You are comparing it to known DNA. That's what you do, right? You're looking at the DNA library of the world. You're comparing it to known DNA. Now, as far as I know, I don't know, maybe somebody in Washington or some crazy, maybe Johns Hopkins is sitting on some alien DNA, right? I don't know. But so now what are we comparing it to? And if it doesn't compare to anything known, the classification goes to what? Unknown. That's the classification, right? Now, if we jump into that, classification, where do we go? Right? For the skeptics and for those that are on the other side of the fence. I mean, where do we go from there?
Yeah, now that goes back to what I was saying. So let's suppose that we're DNA experts and we're sitting there with a sample and we look at it and we say, well, this is not any human DNA that we have in the library. This is different. If that were true, how would we know from the DNA that this is a female? Because the announcement, at least one of the team members made, was, well, look, it's missing the so we know it's a female, the so-and-so, chromosome, whatever. Well, if it was non-human to begin with, how could they make that finding? How would they know? If the whole DNA that they were looking at, it seems to me from what the team is saying is that, and the DNA analysis is not done, it's still ongoing as far as I know, that it seems to me that the DNA analysts are saying, oh yeah, we recognize this. And we can tell you that it's a female. Well, how do they recognize it?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And with the mitochondrial DNA side of it, they would be able to more easily look at the ancestral lines, and if there are any other known bodies in the area, if there's a direct connection. That's the exciting part. If it's female, also, what about the reproductive organs? What if this thing is pregnant? Huh? I don't know. Right. And I'm just supposing here. I don't have any inside information.
And let me ask you this, because I don't know the answer to this. Can you extract mitochondrial DNA from a mummy?
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay. I have Jay on Coast to Coast tomorrow night, and so I'm going to have a list of questions for him. The thing is, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a PhD. I'm not, I don't have that background. I don't know how far back Jay goes with this kind of medical information either, but I'm sure he is getting pummeled. He's going to feel like a doctor when this whole thing is done, for sure.
He's been through it many times, I can assure you.
Yes,
so he'll be fine.
He has. He really has. Now, let's suppose a couple of other things here I want your opinion on. When have you ever, to my memory, I don't ever remember having something like this in front of us where we have the actual evidence and the perpetrators or the the people involved, I should say, alive and well. We've never had the body of Bigfoot, right? We haven't, that's never happened. We've never had I'm starting to, chupacabra, whatever. But here, we have something that we can touch, feel, test, analyze, and examine. Have you ever, Loch Ness Monster, we don't have a body, right? So we only can talk about, with eyewitnesses and photographs, but that's not enough to push everybody over the edge. But here, for the first, have you ever experienced anything quite like this?
Well, the only thing I could compare it to is one or two obvious hoaxes.
Right.
Where, okay, this is an alien, and then, not really. It's, from a Hollywood studio or something. But you're right, because here, and especially now with the internet, and you've got millions of eyeballs on this, you can do the testing. And if you have a question about the testing, you can say, we want to test it somewhere else, and somewhere else, and somewhere else. And let's see, what the comparative testing turns out to be. Now, one thing I can assure you from my experience as a investigating medical things over the last 35 years is some lab could be bent.
Sure. No question about it.
In other words, I don't mean necessarily that anything about the Gaia team. I mean that if this thing actually turns out to be real, I mean a real non-human, whatever that means, a non-human that looks pretty human but isn't human, then you could possibly predict that if this gets to be big enough story, that some orthodox medical lab somewhere will do a DNA analysis and they will say, nonsense, all the other DNA testing was bogus and ours is the only real one, and this is a human woman from, the year, whatever, 1700. In other words, that an orthodox lab can be found to fake it.
Right.
That could happen.
Right.
That definitely could happen. Oh, all these other people are crazy, and it turns out all these other people are right. But we are the, certified blah, blah, blah lab, and we did this, and we know that this is not an alien mummy. You could get that.
I mean, now we're gonna head towards a break, and as always, I'm going to say thank you for coming on tonight. But let me ask you this: you have dealt with the black world and the dark world and the alternative universe when it comes to big pharma and government agencies. Is it possible that this could be the one thing that would change all of humanity? I mean, do you think that this could have been possible? This single event. Did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that we would be here on this show talking about this stuff? Is this like the craziest thing?
I certainly would have imagined that I would be here, talking about this. But as far as, earth-changing event, why not? Why not? I mean, just from a theoretical point of view, and I think we touched on this in the past, how many planets are we talking about in the galaxy?
Right.
Just in the galaxy.
Right.
Forget the universe. And then how many galaxies? And so to me, it's a slam dunk that aliens exist, just statistically, given the size of the universe. Whether this is one of those instances that would push it over the top, so that it's like, okay, there's no way to deny this anymore. Yeah, it's possible. But I'll tell you, if that's the case, there's going to be pushback.
Forever.
Serious pushback.
Yep, and that's the warning I've given everybody, John. No matter what, if this thing just proves to be an actual mummy, right? Just an actual mummy that hasn't been doctored, hasn't been altered. It's a three-fingered, three-toed mummy. And taking it to the next step, we're looking at years. There's not going to be any confirmation next week. Oh, no, there'll be pushback forever. And that's why I love you, man. Thank you so much, John. Be safe out there, and we'll talk over the weekend. And until then,
okay, Jimmy.
Be safe, my friend.
You too.
Jon Rappoport. That's what I'm talking about, man. Pragmatic. Just a realistic way of looking at things. We need that right now. Open up the phone lines right now. 323-825-5045. 323-275-9695. It's Fadernight, Thursday night. Open lines, your calls next.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy.
I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
Ancient Life Oil. Life-changing. The real oil. CBD is truly ancient life oil from the source. This oil has no psychoactive effect and is also legal in all 50 states. When you're healthy, you're happy. The truth about this wonderful plant is that it wants to give back to mankind life, longevity, and happiness. Ancient Life Oil are golden grade, all organic, non-GMO, and infused with high-quality liquid coconut oil. It's simple. Just go to ancientlifeoil.com today. That's ancientlifeoil.com. The best, purest, organic, and non-GMO CBD in the world. Go back, Lee Tappy. The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go back, Lee Tappy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get to you. All right, 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. Yeah, man, the video is out. Over 20 million views. Who knows what that number is going to be tomorrow. What's exciting for me about that is how many people are watching it. The debate is here, and I love this type of conversation. The sense of wonder, right? We're right on. I mean, could this be, right? So let's just start with, it's too good to be true. Let's start there. It's just because it is. It's too good to be true. The video is eye candy. I keep saying that. I cannot stop watching it. I have gone. I have snapped all kinds of screenshots. I have analyzed what I can extrapolate from there. I've got some other stuff that has come in too. And comparing stuff and looking and examining. I'm having fun. So let's figure this out together. With that, let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? Yes, you're live. 3, 2. All right, let's go to the next line.
I've been drinking since 4 o'clock, dude.
You've been drinking since 4 o'clock. Who is this?
This is Allison. Hi,
Allison,
how are you?
You've been drinking since 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Drinking what, Allison?
Oh, well, God, I didn't have beluga vodka to drink at the bar, so I've been drinking scotch.
Okay.
What can I say?
All right.
All right, listen. Here's my thing. Whether this is true or not, and I have noticed some inconsistencies. The first one is on the x-ray of the face. If you will look at the teeth, and I don't know whether it's because of the way the head is canted or not.
Right.
But the bite area of the teeth is darker than the root of the teeth. And I'm seeing top area teeth with the bite area, and then I'm seeing bottom area of the teeth that look like they should be on the top area. In other words, the bite area of the teeth, which should be on the lower jaw, are flipped the wrong way. Now, I don't know whether this is because of the way the head is tilted, and it could be. And I've tried to look at the x-ray, and I'm not an x-ray technician, so I am not exactly sure what I'm looking at.
Right.
But that was the first inconsistency that I noticed. Then, and I know everybody here hasn't looked at what you can look at on Gaia if you have a membership. But the second video, the update, they show the x-rays of the other two bodies that were found with the body that is shown in the first video that everybody gets to see.
Right.
And those videos are interesting. I mean, those shots are interesting because those bodies, if you look at the shoulders, if you look at the sternum, and if you look at the hip area, excuse me, those areas look like the structure would be more of something that walks on 4 feet instead of upright. Yeah, just go look at that if you can.
Yep,
and you'll see what I mean.
I've seen it.
Okay, and I kind of look at in the sternum. I mean, if you look at x-rays of dogs and cats, that's more common to see the sternum jutting way out at an angle.
Right, right.
So that gives me kind of a okay, well, why are the teeth the way they are, and why is the structure on these secondary bodies the way it is?
Right, right. Okay, so
now,
okay. Point number 3, go.
My point is, they didn't accomplish what they wanted to do with Corey Good. They didn't get to rip us apart. We all kind of went, whatever, right? Now, okay.
When you say that, who is they? I mean, what are you referring to? I have no idea what you're referring to here.
The they is the people that would like to take apart our community, that would like to create division.
Okay, I get you.
That they, they.
Okay.
The capital D and the capital they.
Okay.
And I really don't know who they are, and I really don't give a fuck.
Okay.
And I know this is a family broadcast, but I'm going to go there. Now, okay. How else, if that didn't really work, and people are doing their distraction, they're getting caught in all of this, then what my question is, could this be just another bigger distraction that we are being entranced into? I look at the X-ray evidence, and I look at the CAT scan evidence. Now, if you'll notice, the CAT scan teeth are quite complete, and the X-ray teeth are not. And I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, and I do not know the difference between CAT scan and expert. I mean, I'm sorry, myself. I don't know the difference between the X-ray and the CAT scan.
Right.
There is a difference in what they're showing in the teeth there, and that caught my attention. Okay, what I'm saying is, how many fucks are we going to give? How many fucks did we give with the Corey Good incident? We gave a lot of fucks. Are we going to give? Are we going to allow, whether this is true or not, whether this is a real thing or not, whether this is an alien body or not? And it's like, you know what? My opinion on that is like, get the fuck over it and just let's get to it, okay? But that aside, are we going to allow this to tear us apart? And are we going to allow this to once again absolutely put us up in front of the sheeple and the mainstream,
right,
and allow it to tell them what a bunch of idiots we are?
Yeah. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it. I don't even care. I don't care. I honestly, Allison, listen to me right now. Listen to me. Let me ground you a little bit. I don't care. What I do know is that we have a physical organic specimen for the first time that there are some.
And my question is, are you sure of that?
Yes, I've seen it in the video. So this is my point,
yes,
Allison.
But it's a video. Have you seen it?
Allison.
First person testimony.
Allison, calm down. Listen to me for a second. Listen to me. If it's a fake that has been reconstructed and it's a skeleton that has been layered with organic material and it has been created to be a hoax, we'll find out. Okay, but we have it. We have it. My point is,
it's not over till the fat lady sings, baby.
Allison, listen to me. What I'm saying is, we have this to examine. That's what we have. So if it's fake, we're going to find out quickly. We move on. Okay, great. Somebody tried to pull the wool over our eyes, but we figured it out. So that we have that. Or it's an actual mummy, an actual untouched, unmolested mummy that is 1,800 years old. And that has 3 fingers and 3 toes, and then we'll figure out where we move from here. That's yes. We have the physical specimen to test. Is it some conspiracy, smokescreen to block, or cause us to forget, or this or that? Has nothing to do with Corey Good. Has nothing to do with anything else.
Oh, I know. No. I was just using that as an example.
And
I
you can,
that.
and you should, you should. Okay, but it's exciting. I'm having fun. So are you. You're comparing.
Definitely.
You're looking. Yeah. So go have fun. Let's enjoy this. Like I said earlier today, I posted up on Facebook. Let's enjoy the ride. Whatever happens, we get to have fun debating it. Okay?
Do you want to hear my intuitive hit on this?
Yeah, quickly, because Allison, I'll be honest with you, I've got a lot of calls on hold. Okay.
They are. This person was stranded. And the little ones that they found with it were not children. They were workers. They starved to death. They couldn't get in contact. They couldn't be rescued, and they died. That was my intuitive hit on it.
Yeah, that could be. Could be. Absolutely. Could be.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, who knows, really?
Yeah. So let's see. We will be talking about this for a long time. A long time. It's going to be great.
And it is exciting.
Thank you so much. Behave out there.
Thanks,
and go back. Right. Go Beckley Tappy.
Oh, brother. You know it. Bye.
Bye, Allison. There you go. Been drinking since 4:00 and upset. And I totally agree with her. Totally 100% agree. Okay, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yes, this is Alan from Chicago. How you doing, Jimmy?
Hey, Alan from Chicago. How are you, my friend?
Very good. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you personally for bringing to my attention one of your wonderful sponsors, and I just wanted to let your audience know. A couple of weeks ago, I tried your River Moon Fade to Black blend.
Yep.
And my family was just crazy about it, and I never thought coffee could be so good. I mean, just the smell of it before you roast it is amazing, but when you're making it, it's just incredible. And I just wanted to thank you so much. And when I ordered it, the company's top notch. I got a nice thank you note from someone that packed it, and I'm definitely going to order some more of it. And I just wanted to let you know personally, thank you, Jimmy, for your wonderful sponsors.
Yep, I don't hype it enough, do I? It's pretty amazing coffee. I don't hype it enough.
When I heard you talking about it, I said, well, what can you do to a cup of coffee? But you're right, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that. All right. Okay, so what's on your mind? What's on your mind? Oh, that was it? Oh, that was it. Just to say thank you for the coffee. Wow. Okay. All right. There you go. 323. That let's see here. What of it? 323-275-9695. 323-825-5045. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Hey, it's Josh Haggart.
Hey, Josh. Oh, Josh, what are you doing, man? Tuning a guitar? What are you doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, it was real good. Yeah, I'm sitting here in Salt Lake City.
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, that alien, I keep thinking about it, and the only thing that's got me skeezed out is this thing. If it's legit, I feel like the powers that be would have shut this down way before we found out about it.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, go back. You just changed your settings. What'd you do? Jump on speakerphone?
No speakerphone.
Wow, I heard it click, and now you sound funky. Okay. Huh.
My truck's kind of weird.
Oh, you're in a truck? Okay, I get you.
Yeah, does that sound any better?
It doesn't matter. Let's keep going. Okay, so what do you think about that video?
Man, I want to say it's legit. I'm 95% on the fence. I just don't want to pull the trigger because I don't want to get my hopes up,
Right, and you shouldn't. No, get your hopes up. Get your hopes up, but stay in the too good to be true category, and just let the data and let the testing come out, because if it is what it is, it's potentially the biggest thing ever, right, in the history of the known universe. And there will be pushback coming from all directions. It's not going to be an easy road. It is not going to be tomorrow the government saying, okay, we found our first alien body and it was in Peru. That ain't going to happen. It's not going to be that kind of party. I can assure you of that. So let's just make sure first that we have an intact mummy that hasn't been messed with, that's got 3 fingers, 3 toes on each hand and on each feet, and that is intact. There's other things, Josh, that come into play here. Listen, I'm being very, very serious. The organs are intact. Okay? Now, what does that mean? Now, we've got blood analysis that needs to be done. We've got the orientation of the organs. Does it have 2 kidneys, 1, no kidneys? I don't know. What's an alien? Is it a combined human alien hybrid? All of this stuff is starting to get out there into the fantastical, right? Which I've been talking about this week. Let's not go there yet, right? Let's keep things in check here, and let's start with square one, that we have an intact, unmolested mummy that is apparently 1,800 years old, that has its organs intact. If we can just get to that point, then we've got an exciting world in front of us, and then let's start to figure this stuff out. That's my take.
Yeah, totally. And it's kind of like what Gene in the chat room said. He said that that period of time, the 200 to 400 BC or AD,
right?
That was a pretty dark period for history. There wasn't a whole lot written down in that period of time. So, that could have been when we first got official contact,
I think we've had contact for 1 million years, 2 million years, 3 million, 4 million years. They've known about this planet as long as it's been a bright blue glowing planet with oceans. We've been looked at, man. Just, can you imagine?
Let me rephrase that. Maybe it's the first time the modern incarnation of human has gotten contact.
Sure.
Since all of our changes.
Yeah, with our little infinitesimal way of living life today, compared to aliens, we're pushing little matchbox cars inside of a sandbox run. That's us. That's us today, right? Compared to E.T. that would be traveling the universe and bouncing through galaxies and showing up here. That's a high intelligence. We're a little bit backwards, but just imagine if we found a bright blue planet out there covered in water. Right? What a game changer that would be.
Yeah.
Well, we have that ability now to do that. Well, if we can do that now with us pushing Matchbox cars in the sandbox, right? Imagine how long E.T. has known about this planet being here. They've known for a long time, man. They know. Hey, Josh, thank you, man. And exciting times, man. Exciting times. Thank you so much for the phone call. And be safe out there on the open road.
I appreciate it.
That's what I'm talking about. Josh driving his truck right now in Utah. With that, man, the phones are going bananas. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hello.
Yes, you're live right now. You're live.
Hello, Jimmy?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
How are you? Who's calling? Where are you calling from?
My name is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
And I'm calling from... Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from Asia.
What part of Asia, Brian?
In China.
Okay, you're calling from China. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's on your mind tonight, Brian?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about the Fade to Black, Brent, because you talk about it a lot, and I haven't been able to try it, of course, because I'm over here. And can you just kind of tell me what it tastes like?
It's good coffee, man. It's just good coffee. So there you go. Two coffee phone calls tonight. Yes, it is the best coffee in the world. And I'm sorry that you're stuck in China and you can't, enjoy this with us. But, when you're over here in the States, Brian, I promise you, I'll knock back a cup with you. All right? Deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What
Great.
do you?
And I got something else I want to ask you. Would you ever have David Pilates? The missing 411 guy on the show?
Oh, yeah, I know David. David's great. He's always, yes, I've done a panel with him. He was a guest on one of my panels, I think it was last year. And he's one of the coolest, smartest, brightest guys out there. There's no doubt about it. He is always investigating. He's always out there doing stuff. Every time that we have an open date, he's busy, or he'll contact us and say, I'm free, and we're locked up. But yeah, you're absolutely right. David Pilates, we got to get him on the show.
Well, what do you think so far is going on with the national parks? Do you have a theory on it?
You know what? I've got to go with kind of David's view on this, because I've read all his books. I have them. And it's what I don't appreciate is that the government tends to, every time there's something going on with somebody missing, a family member, male, female, doesn't matter, young, old, that they suddenly get stupid and they don't know about the investigation, or paperwork is lost, or they don't get, or they write it off as something simple, or the body was removed by a coyote. Whatever, it's like these crazy excuses. But you get those excuses, and this is something that David points out very well. You get those excuses over and over and over and over again. And it gets to the point where that the government knows something is going on, but they don't want to talk about it. And that's why he has kept his foot on the gas with this over the years, Brian. He knows. And it's difficult to get through the bureaucracy and the government smoke screens, because they are in control of the data and the paperwork and the investigations. And it's hard to get to that point. And so I'm with David on this. There's something going on. The government knows definitely that there's something going on, but they don't want to talk about it. And I don't think it's E.T. I don't. I don't know if it's interdimensional. I don't know if it's Bigfoot. I don't subscribe to, neither does he. I don't think that there's an E.T. connection, but there's something darker and maybe more sinister than that. We just don't know what it is, Brian, and we've got to get to the bottom of it. And thank goodness we have David. David is like, I'm serious. You meet him. Have you ever met him?
No, I just hear him, like maybe on other shows.
Okay.
Other interviews.
He's a big, tall guy, right? He's intimidating, right? He's the guy that you don't want to mess with. If you get in trouble and you're little and the adult comes in the room and stares at you and you know that you're in trouble, that's David, right? He's that guy that's looking at you. And you don't want David to be on your trail. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad that he is part of this entire missing 411 cases. So thank you so much, Brian. What city in China can you disclose?
Yeah, actually, I'm in a city called Shenzhen. It's right next to Hong Kong.
Oh, okay, right next to Hong Kong. Thank you so much. Do you know Chuck Fay out there? Do you follow Chuck in Hong Kong?
I follow him, and I did try to email him to see if I could meet him, actually.
Yeah, you should.
We're Fadernauts.
Yes,
but
yes.
I couldn't get in touch with him yet.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, and I've got his MJ13 T-shirts. He's really cool. You should go hang out with Chuck.
I'd love to.
Thank you so much, Brian, and be safe out there.
Oh, I will do my best. And by the way, I was going to recommend maybe next year at the Contact in the Desert, if you guys could make a DVD of it.
Oh, there are. Shoot me an email, Jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Okay, Brian? And I'll look for it, and I'll tell you what to do.
Okay, great.
I'll talk to you.
Good talking to you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Brian. All the way from China, Shinchin. There you go. All right, let's stay on. Oh, I got to go to a break. Okay, if you're on hold, stay right there. I've got to take a break. I actually have to do this now. So if you're on hold, you can hear me. Everybody just stay right there. It's Fadernight. It's Thursday night. Open lines all night long, and I will get to all of your calls. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hello, Fadernauts. This is Jimmy Church, and I'm introducing New Pharma, a company whose products are based on science. Human function based on the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. New Pharma firmly believes in this science, and their research indicates that support of the ECS provides the beneficial effects for a healthy lifestyle. New Pharma's science includes relief capsules for pain relief, sleep capsules, which are natural support for occasional sleeplessness. Foundation is support for your ECS, and Fit capsules support your active lifestyle. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2B for a 33% discount on all of their products. Or visit newpharma.com for all of the knowledge on the science. That's GNUpharma.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
So I get out of the shower this morning. I'm looking in the mirror, and not to brag, but my beach body is coming back. I'm not fearing shorts and bathing suits this summer. And thanks to naturesyouth.com, I'm here to help you too. The anti-aging experts, Nature's Youth RSF, they've developed an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports my body to naturally increase HGH levels without synthetic hormones. You see, HGH, or human growth hormone, it's produced by the pituitary gland, and it's essential for growth and regeneration of my cells and tissues. Elevated HGH levels can contribute to not only increasing my energy, improving my libido, and reducing my body fat, but overall improving my exercise capacity. Now, just by watching what I eat, doing a little exercise, and taking my daily dose of Nature's Youth RSF, I'm in a swimsuit, and I'm happy to be there. My beach body is back. I want you to get yours. Join me today and look better and less with help from Nature's Youth. It's easy. Go to naturesyouth.com. That's naturesyouth.com. And bring on the sunshine.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to ancientlifeoil.com. That's ancientlifeoil.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It is Thursday night, which means it is Fadernight, which means open lines all night long. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Chase from Salem.
Hey, Chase from Salem. How are you?
I called a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Gave my UFO stories.
Absolutely. What's on your mind tonight, Chase? You see that? You see that video?
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. That was pretty cool. I'm just wondering, like, the texture of the skin and stuff like that. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, again, the analysis needs to, when it comes to that, obviously the white powder that is there to mummify these remains, all of that, you hate to do it. So what do you do in a situation like this? Do you clean all of that off? Right? Do you do that? You've got to be.
That's a really good question. You kind of want to preserve it.
You want to preserve it,
right? You kind of have to. You have to get under it.
So what do you do, man? You know. If you think about the way that the mummies in Egypt, now there is a certain protocol now that, and in Egypt is, it's not really third world; it's a modern country. So they have the ability and the medical labs and stuff where, a mummy is pulled out of the ground. They take it as they're looking at this in a very controlled environment. Now, here, this is the thing, and I've heard the criticisms out there. We are talking about Peru, okay? Now we are in another level of stuff. I'm not saying that Peru doesn't have excellent hospitals. I'm not saying that they don't have certain things down there. But the ability to, in a small village, pull this thing out and go and examine it in a controlled environment, it's not that kind of party. I know, man. I'm telling you, it's not that kind of party. And so the criticisms about it being pulled out in the open down there, man, what are the alternatives? To take it into a bar, right? What, is that any more clean than out there in the street? So and I'm not talking down, and I'm not trying to be stupid here, and I'm not trying to make fun of it, but you need to understand the environment down there. Jay Widener.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Jay Widener flies down there. He gets off a plane, and he's walking. This is not in some government facility. It's not like that. You are going in a clandestine way to meet somebody that's got a purported alien body. That stuff is hidden away in a back room in a box.
A little different.
Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with here. But now it's out in the open. And hopefully the stuff will be in a laboratory setting from here on out, and has been. Now, what's underneath that white powder? What's the skin? I don't know. But they will be
Maybe
getting
it's some
to the
kind
bottom.
of shell that dissolved.
Yeah, right. Now, I'm looking at everybody talking about these eggs. Yes, I'm going to save some of this for Jay tomorrow night, but it looks like that inside of one of these bodies there are 3 eggs.
Ooh.
Eggs,
Whoa.
like as in reptile eggs. 3 eggs.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, not to do that here on this show right now, to get way too far out in front, way too out ahead of this and start speculating.
Yeah, especially with the whole reptilian agenda thing.
Yeah. To go there, because if there are 3 reptile eggs and 3, now we're speculating in hypotheticals that are just outrageous. Right? With 3 reptilian humanoid bodies inside of each one of those. We start going into that zone. Oof. So I'm not going there yet. I'll let Jay go there tomorrow night on Coast, and then Jay will be here with us on Monday, and we'll do a complete breakdown of everything. And I will ask the questions that need to be asked. I assure you of that, Chase. All right, I've got everybody's
looking
back.
Forward to that interview.
Yeah, man, it's going to be great. So, what else is on your mind, really quick?
Oh, I'm just kind of walking around this little field that I'm about to start a little barn and kind of permaculture stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that this would be a perfect spot for a UFO sighting.
Well, man, just keep your cell phone on the ready. That's what you do.
I definitely will.
Hey, Chase, man, thank you
Gotta
for
get me a thermal camera.
Yeah, I know, right? Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you for that. And again, be safe out there. And if anything happens, take a picture.
Right.
All right.
Take care, Jimmy.
You too, Chase. I didn't want to go on the record with this, so I'm not going to say who the company is. But Rita and I fell victim to, I should say, going out and did I just? I hung up on the wrong call and pressed the wrong button. All right, and I see. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay. Everybody that's on hold right now, stay right there. I apologize for what I did just do. Okay, so I'm going to do this here. Okay, all right, there you go. Okay, so everybody right now can hear me. I'm sorry about that. I hung up on a couple of people, but I think you guys are listening to me now. So you know, it was just an accident. Didn't mean to do that. Rita and I saw a telephoto lens that attaches to your iPhone, right? And we're like, oh, man, how cool is that? So we go, we order it, and we get the advanced optics and the this and that, and we pay the extra money for it. And you know what? Doesn't work. Garbage. Just, man. I was so looking forward to doing some really cool photography and shooting video and nighttime this, that. Man. Just upset about this. All right, everybody, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy?
Yes.
This is Amy.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi. Good. So I've been listening to a lot of shows for years, and I personally believe there is a secret space program.
Yes.
And we've been hearing a lot that they want to do this 100-year disclosure thing because they've been covering up alien contact for probably decades, perhaps.
Probably.
And so I feel if the government lets this out and it does turn out to be a real alien mummy, that this will be part of this beginning of this 100-year disclosure so that they can not give us full disclosure.
Right. Yeah, I've read a few comments that are similar to that. People are feeling the same thing that you're feeling. right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel that too in a really weird way. But I have always said, and I will continue to maintain this, the disclosure that everybody is expecting, I think that disclosure has already happened. I've already seen what I have. I don't need confirmation. I don't. But the big one, like maybe this video, right? The big one will be out of the government's control. Completely out of, it's not going to come from the government. It's going to be out of their hands. That if disclosure happens, it's going to be big and it will be out of their control. It could be a WikiLeaks, dump of documents and videos, right? Live leak. It could be something like that. It could be something like this alien mummy video discovery thing that's going on now. That is this is out of the government hands at this point. So that's always my point. Could it be that? For us, it feels like this leak, drip, drip, drip kind of thing. But like Allison was saying earlier, and she's the best. Allison is very pragmatic and very smart and a brilliant writer. The thing is this: we have seen distractions, and we've certainly seen some pretty blatant distractions in our community over the last month. And then all of a sudden, this happens. And all of the distractions that were going on are a distant memory. And I'm here to tell you that nobody even cares about that now. Way moved on from that. And, MUFON needed this right now to pull the distraction off of them, right? All the other stuff that is going on out there, you get this, and now the pressure's off of that. You don't care. We moved on, and we will be dealing with this moving forward for probably a long time. I hope we are, and that's the exciting part.
I hope you're right that it's out that the government can't jump in and. I mean, I feel like they have so much power.
They do have power.
They wanted to cover something up. They could just say it's national security or something.
Right. Yep. And this is this is the other thing. If that mummy, if that body would have been found in the United States, you can bet that thing would have disappeared by now. If that's gone, it's gone. And money would have changed hands. People would have been silenced. The body disappears, and it's declared a hoax, and that's it. That's it. It's done. It's over with. Thank goodness this happened. If it is real, that's the thing. If it is an actual mummy, and it's intact and it's unmolested and hasn't been touched, thank God it happened in a country where. The influence of the United States is not as strong, and you can run and hide and do the things that you needed to do to get it to this point. So let's just, like I said.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Yep. Fingers crossed. That's all. Fingers crossed.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy.
Thank you, Amy, and don't be a stranger.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's what I'm talking about. Love first-time callers. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Eric?
Yes.
Hello?
You're live.
Jimmy, oh my God. Hi.
Hi. Who's this?
My name's Eric.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
Great. My gosh. Hey, so I became a Fadernight about a month ago. I discovered you through Coast to Coast.
Right on.
I love your show.
Right on, man. Right on. Be on Coast to Coast tomorrow night.
I know. Now we'll be listening.
Right on. Where are you calling from, Eric?
D.C.
Washington, D.C. See, I'm looking at this area code, and I know it's the NSA. So, how you...
No, sir. I came out of Fort Bragg, so that's why I have a 919 area code.
Okay, there you go. So what's on your mind tonight, Eric?
I just want to say I love your show. I did see the video of the alien at Peru.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to believe. I mean, it looks really legit. And not to give too much away, but did sign some NDAs. But when I was with the Navy, they did teach us a few things at my school, and yeah, brother, they're here.
Well, what do you when you first saw the video? Because I know what I felt when I first saw it. When you first saw the video, what went through your mind?
Well, I'm watching it, and first I was kind of skeptical. I see them bringing it out, and I saw the X-rays. I see them looking at it. I get goosebumps, and then I'm just like, there's no way you can fake something like this. You can see the bones in the CAT scans, and I'm just like, come on, the hole for the ear. And it just looks so real. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of screen captures of stuff here, and that is when somebody. This is what I find really funny when somebody out there goes, "Dude, it's plaster of Paris. It's fake. It's a hoax." Well, you look at these CAT scans, and that is not plaster of Paris or whatever. It's just people just trying to stir stuff up. But that is 100%. A skeleton with 3 fingers and 3 toes on each hand and each foot. That's what it is. The skull, a little bit elongated. It's not, crazy shaped or anything. The eyes look fairly normal. I'm not any anthropologist or biologist or something that would know something more about this. But the skull structure looks a little bit funky to me. The lips look big and full, which is kind of strange, right? They're not thin or the way that things have been depicted in the past. Also, the way that when you see mummies over in Egypt, what's the first thing that you notice about those mummies? I always do. The lips are thin and receding, and you see the teeth, and they look scary, right? Here,
exactly,
the skin is intact on the face. Now, if you're going to fake something, you wouldn't fake it like that, would you? That seems like some kind of crazy mistake. So how were they able to preserve the skin so that the face and the nose and the lips are so bleeping intact, right? Because you can see what this face looks like just by looking at this alien.
That's a good question. I have no idea, but I saw what you saw, and I think it's real.
Yeah. Well, it's a real mummy, whether it's alien or not. I feel that it's a real mummy. Whether it's alien, that's a whole nother. We've got a long road to go down there. But is it a real mummy? Yeah. Is it a real mummy with 3 fingers and 3 toes and it hasn't been messed with? Let's get to that point. And if we get there, exciting days ahead, no doubt about it. Eric, so what'd you do in the Navy?
Well, I was a nuke. I was a Navy nuke electrician.
A Navy nuke electrician on power sources or on weapons?
I was on actually aircraft carrier.
So you dealt with the power supply on the aircraft carrier?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a pretty cool gig. Did you have to wear your little badge with your radiation exposure levels on it?
Absolutely.
And did it ever go hot?
We wouldn't be talking.
Man, how cool is that? Did you go through any conflicts?
No, but I do gotta say it's kind of related to these type of shows that in training when you're in A school,
yeah,
you do get a certain amount of indoctrinating, and I gotta tell you, man, stuff they talked about and building up to the future of what the Navy is today.
Right.
All I gotta say is, Philadelphia Project did happen, and
it did or didn't.
They did talk about, yes, 100% happened. And there are alien races that, at least up to 4 alien races. And I'm just saying what they told me. There's up to 4 alien races that the United States government has been in contact with. All I could say.
Now, okay, that's fine. You don't have to go further with that. But are you saying that this was part of your education because of the nuclear side of things and you being a technician, or is this stuff that is freely talked about in the Navy, no matter what you do, whatever your MOS is?
It was through the education at Naval Nuclear Power Training Command, and it's part of the A school. They do teach you that, and they just give it to you. They disseminate the information,
right?
And you just take it as it is, and then they actually don't ever go back talking about it. It's in the very beginning of the school, so it's a very strange way they do it, but they lay down the facts, and you just take it as it is.
Where'd you go to school? Did you go to Great Lakes?
Well, Great Lakes is boot camp, and then I went to Goose Creek, which is in South Carolina.
Right. So you went to Great Lakes.
Correct.
That's where I was born.
Wow, dude.
No, I was born at Great Lakes Naval Station in the hospital at Great Lakes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's trippy, isn't it? Are you tripping out right now? How many times has somebody come up to you, a civilian, right, and even brought up Great Lakes? Nobody knows about that place, do they?
Nobody ever.
Not even one. So what I'm saying is I know, right? I'm pretty confident in saying this, that this is probably the first time you've ever heard somebody go, so, dude, you go to Great Lakes? Right? First time you ever heard that question?
Exactly.
Great Lakes is a trippy little place right there in for everybody in right off of in Illinois, right off of Lake Michigan, right near Waukegan. That's the town, right? You're tripping now, Waukegan,
yep.
And that's what it is. So, Eric, thank you so much, my friend. Great conversation, and don't be a stranger.
Well, not. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great conversation. Great Lakes is it's called the Great Lakes Naval Station, but it's a training center. It's a college and boot camp. A couple of things that they do there. They have a pretty extensive. I'm sorry, I brought somebody on live. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey there, Jimmy. This is Captain. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Captain. Man, I brought you. See, I didn't even put you on hold. I didn't hit the hold button. I just brought you straight on the show. You've never had that happen before. Pretty weird, huh?
Well, it's absolutely weird. But listen, are you going to leave me on hold or are you going me to talk?
No, man, go. It's too late for that now. We're way past that.
Well, listen. I want you to know that 2017 is going to be the year for this disclosure. And how I know that is because of the fact that I got some very important intel concerning about the Ark of Gabriel that was located in the Antarctic.
Right.
And this is getting ready to be exposed. Matter of fact, have you heard of the individual by the name of Anonymous?
Well, Anonymous is a group. Is there an individual that calls himself Anonymous?
Well, this is a individual that calls himself Anonymous.
Okay.
And I want you to know that disclosure is going to be imminent. And from what I understand, they're talking about September, October. We're going to have disclosure.
What's going to happen?
They're going to talk about this thing you were talking about, this mummy with the 3 fingers and the 3 toes. That's absolutely real. And that's going to be exposed as well. And then we have a lot of enemies in Washington, D.C. that does not want this information out.
Of course.
So beware.
Well, how are they going to do it, Captain?
How do what?
How's it going to happen? How's disclosure going to happen? Are they going to have a video? Are they going to do a news conference? Is it going to be done on the internet? How's it going to happen?
Okay, let me say this. Former President Barack Obama, President Xi of China, and President Putin. I'm going to say this so the audience can understand what's going on. All 3 men are working together. They're working together to get this done, and from what I understand, it's going to happen. It's going to happen in September, October. Now, as far as the orchestration of all this, I understand that Russia right now is building a platform in St. Peter's Square. This platform is about 12 feet tall. And then, of course, former President Barack Obama, a lot of people do not know that this man is a very special individual. And, Jimmy, I'm going to have to talk to you about that off the call.
But what? Okay, we can do that. What are your sources?
I have some people over in Israel,
right,
as well as Canada,
really,
that let me know what's going on. And as you well know, I have a past with actual aliens myself. And I think I told you my story before.
Yes, a couple of years ago. Yes.
Yeah, and it's very, very real. This stuff is real. There's no joking about this stuff. This stuff is very real, and it's very imminent. It is going to happen. There is going to be a lot of changes on this planet. It's going to change the history book of mankind to come. And I got to say this because people have this notion to think that, yes, there are some bad aliens, and there are some good aliens. And, excuse me, and there will be no, I repeat it, there'll be no World War III, not on this planet, not ever.
Interesting. Well, let's see. You know, part of the excitement over this last couple of days for everybody is, I think, is coming on the heels of a pretty exciting year and a pretty fun year, and that we can kind of tell that there's something about to break. I mean, look, the whole alien question, there's just no way that was going to be kept under wraps forever. There was just no way. Something was going to happen sooner or later, and that's it. And we could just freak out, enjoy it, be happy, or blow up this planet, whatever. But we were going to get to that point. And I feel like there's something going on. I can feel it. I can taste it. So is it going to be September or October? Well, you know, my show's... Wait, you know what?
Jim, listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah, Captain.
The media has already came out and says there are Goldilocks planets. Yep. Matter of fact, they found 7 brand new planets.
Right.
Just like Earth.
Right.
Just like Earth.
Right.
Now, can you imagine what's going to happen when people find out that we are not alone and that there are several different races of aliens?
I know.
Some are very much humanoid.
I know.
Some are from the Dracos planet, and Dracos are the lizard people.
Right.
So what Corey and Dave talked about on your show is very much real. And you got the blue avians. The blue avians are the bird people. Okay. So all this stuff is going to come out, and that we're going to be introduced to galactics very, very soon, and they'll be on television where you actually see these individuals. Some look human and some don't look human. Now, we had a visitor that visited us back in the 1960s.
Okay,
His
Captain.
name was Valid Thor.
Yeah, Captain, stay right there. I will never cut you off, but I got to take a break right here. So you stay right there. We'll finish this after the break, all right?
Okay, very good.
Okay, yeah, stay right there. I can't cut Captain off. I don't cut anybody off. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat. Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn
it. This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. We're talking about the video, The Alien Mummy, released by Gaia. Up to 20 million views as of 5 o'clock today. Who knows what this thing is going to be doing tomorrow. So during the break, right, you see me, those that are watching me on the bunker cam, I always get up and I stretch my legs and I go down. So I walk out of the bunker and I go down to Rita's studios down the hall, and I walk out and I smell. It smells like a rock concert in 1980, right? It smells like I just went to go see the Cars and Blackfoot, right? So I'm walking down, and I walk in. And into her studio, she's burning sage. She's got stuff. She's burning wood that's oil thing. You know, she's in there like doing some kind of ceremony, right? And I walk, and she kicks me out. She literally says, "Bye, Felicia." I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she kicked me out of her studio. She can't do that, can she? All right, but she did. 3 years. So that's what was going on. You're watching it on the bunker cam and you're wondering, you know, where does Jimmy go? I got kicked out of Rita's studio. She's in there. My office is off limits to you. There you go. I'm going to retweet that. That is exact. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Hashtag F2B, and you can see Rita's tweet right there. So funny. I got a couple of emails I wanted to share with you from a couple of the Fadernauts out there about the alien mummy. And should I say names? Okay, this is from Astra. Astra says, I would venture to guess that there is a lot of alien DNA stored in various places on this planet. I don't need any proof. I just want full disclosure. Yeah, and that's a really good point. I wanted to kind of address that. Okay, like I said, this is too good to be true. That's where we're at on this stage of this. But it was bound to happen sooner or later. It was bound to happen. ET has visited this planet many, 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 many times. And it was bound to happen sooner or later. What? What? No. No. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Rita came in, just so you know, she said, you have Captain on hold, and I don't. The call dropped. So I don't have Captain on hold. But back to this. We have finally the possibility of a body finally showing up. It was bound to happen. I don't know if this has happened before, right? But the discovery could have been suppressed. So think about that. But there has to be around this planet alien bodies. I mean, that have not been discovered in the ground. You know, there was the famous case, which makes me go back to the famous case in Texas, in Aurora, Texas, where that craft came across the farmland there, clipped the windmill, and crashed. Now, that was, 1900, 1899, 1900, whenever that went down, whatever that date was. Somebody remind me of that, and we'll get the date correct. But the town folk took the body, the alien, the pilot, and gave it a proper burial. Now, it was in their newspaper. It's part of the history of Aurora, Texas. The grave, now, somebody took the gravestone, so now they don't know where it is in the graveyard. Some people have speculated that they went and dug up the body and threw it in a well that is there. And there were parts of the aircraft that were thrown in the well. It was radioactive, poisoned the well water. They filled that up with concrete. But there's another example of the possibility of an actual alien body in the possession of the civilian population and not in possession of the government. But that body has never been recovered. So there you go. That's another example. Would it be the same? You know, how do I say this right? The amount of alien life out there, Rappoport was talking about this earlier, the amount of alien life out there in the universe, in our galaxy alone, is not quite infinite, but the number is extraordinarily large. When we're talking about 500 billion stars, right? A trillion stars. That is a crazy amount. I mean, it's just so large. And then you combine the amount of planets that could be tied in with those stars. So now you've got a number that's potentially even bigger than that. How much alien life is out there in the Milky Way, in our galaxy? So out of that, and that's it's pretty close proximity to us. And then out of that, how many know that our planet is here with, this bright, blue, beautiful planet? I don't know, but it's a large number. So now let's take this to the next step. How many, if you have, I don't want to say infinite amount, but let's just say just pull out a round number that would fit nice into 500 billion. So let's go with 10,000. 10,000 civilizations out there. Just a nice round number. Are they all identical? Of course they are not. We're not even identical on this planet. The human race looks completely different. If you have a a fat black dude standing next to a fat white dude and a skinny white dude and a skinny black guy, and maybe we can pull in some Asian and German and start pulling redhead, blonde, black haired, freckles, no freckles, acne, no acne. Pull in just different, and you line them all up. You would think that those were all just different species, but we're not. We're all humans. So, and that's just from planet Earth. So if you start to take that idea, this is how my polluted mind works, and you take that idea and you start dotting that around the Milky Way, the different alien or ET races out there are going to be as different from one another as we are just from humans here on planet Earth. That's the only way to look at it. Right now, this is the other thing. DNA is DNA. Amino acids are amino acids, and chromosomes are chromosomes, and life is life. And so we can expect that life on other planets, especially if the planet is similar enough to ours, gravity, temperature, water, that life would eventually evolve into something that is similar to our own. 2 feet, 2 hands, walk upright, fingers or whatever. That's all, that could change. But height is, that's relative to the amount of gravity that you got a lot of gravity on the planet, you're going to be a little bit shorter. You got less gravity, you're going to be a little bit taller. Right? So when those different species are out there, those different civilizations are exploring the Milky Way, and they come by here at different times, through different periods, it's going to be different life forms altogether. So if we did find a few different ET bodies on this planet, why would we expect them to be all the same? You can't. That's just stupid. It's not even an intelligent way to look at it. So they would appear to be different. They would have different DNA. They would have a different finger count, leg count. Maybe they got 4 arms. I don't know. And 2 legs. I don't know. Maybe they got 2 heads. Maybe they got 3 eyes. I don't know these things. Maybe they got antennas off their head. I don't know. But the odds of us sending 2 identical human beings to another planet, identical twins, that's the only way that they would look the same. So why would we expect E.T. landing here on this planet to look identical to something that somebody else has seen? It may not even be from the same planet. Think about that. And that's the way that I look at things here. All right? That's a great, great email. Next, this is from... it's also from Astro. Okay. Yes, it concerns me that the government may keep the truth from the mummy coming out just as they did in Roswell. I thought this was from 2 different people. Roswell crash and all of the other crashes that could threaten the labs. That is something that I have totally been concerned about. I think that the only way to address this, everybody, to play things safe, okay, to make sure that things are accurate, you have to have testing from not only different laboratories, different cities, different countries, different universities, different hands on this all together, not from the same pie. I don't want any questions coming up from this. Can you pay off a testing lab? Have a buddy at a testing lab that you've been working with over the, you don't want that cloud over any of this. So I was told from Jay directly that they are going to do just that they are going to have multiple testing. They're going to have testing done not only from different labs, but from different countries, from different universities. And that's the only way that you can play this out. That's it. You have to have an average. You have to have all of the extremes. It's going to ultimately end up being a bell curve type of testing anyway. I am very concerned with, sorry, I dropped that call. call right back. Area code 713. That was my fault. I apologize. And you were at the front of the line, and you just got dropped. That's my bad. Is blood, the lungs, the respiratory system, the nervous system, the bone structure. I think all of this has to be independently tested multiple times. So you take the blood, and you are taking a massive amount of that if you can. I don't know what's there in something so old, but if you have traces of that, you're sending that out to multiple laboratories. It's expensive, but that's the way it has to be done. The bone tissue, you need to take, man, you've got to take the bone, you got to take a saw, you got to start slicing that stuff up, sending it out to multiple labs. You have to do it that way. The skin tissue, that's got, as crazy as it sounds, you've got to take a bunch of skin tissue, cut it up, and send it out to multiple laboratories. That's it. I don't feel safe getting laboratory tests from one. Look, you get blood tests, you get blood work done, and you get called in from your doctor, and he says, "Hey, man, I got some bad news here." Well, the first thing you do is, okay, I need a second opinion, and that's the same thing that we have to do here with all of the testing that's going on with the alien DNA. The skin tissue, the carbon-14 dating. There's another thing I want to address really quick before I get back to the calls. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695. The carbon-14 dating, and I've seen a couple of people out there that were concerned about this, that it's not this, it's not okay, all right. First shot across the bow, first set of dating that's coming in. I don't know where the tissue sample came from. I don't know what part of the body. I don't know any of this. The preliminary results are coming in at 245 to 410 AD. That's fine. Great. Put something. We need a ton of carbon-14 testing. And we need to know who did the testing, the name behind that person, what are their credentials at each one of the labs, and they need to come forward completely. That's it. We are not here in the UFO community. We're not going to accept anything less than that. Now, I want to address one thing. I got multiple emails on this. At the very beginning of the first report that was released, there was a CAT scan that was put up on the screen in the first 5 to 8 seconds of the video, and that CAT scan has a date on it of 1997. Have you seen it? I don't know if I've got, I might have got a screen capture of it. Have you seen this? Has anybody posted it? I haven't been back here on Twitter in a half hour. That date is there, 1997. So I call my people at Gaia. I said, okay, what's going on with this? There's a date there that says 1997. Everything else there says 2017. What gives, right? Now, and then as I am getting this question out of my mouth, it suddenly hit me that this is probably not that big of a deal. All right? Now, this is what's going on with that. I've had CAT scans done. I don't know if you have, but I have. And when you go and you get those done, you get an MRI done, you go to a private lab, you're getting a CAT scan done, and you go and you sit down, you're with somebody that's sitting at a computer and they're punching in information. And on the CAT scan or on the MRI, on the screen is, it'll pop up with your name, your date of birth, right? That's punched in because you are the specimen that's about to get scanned. That's who's going to lay down on the table, right? And it's your information that's up on the screen. How do you, as a lab technician that's running one of these machines, and you're sitting down with a mummy that is not dated, you don't know, you don't have the mummy's ID or driver's license, birth certificate. So that's information that is totally 100% at this point arbitrary. So how do you, as a lab technician, type in somebody's name and date of birth? You can't. You can't. What are you going to punch in? So at that point, and if you go back and you look at the CAT scan that I'm talking about, and you go and you take a peek at this, is somebody put this up on the screen here? I'm looking here. Now that's the 19th of May 2017. Okay, that's not the one I'm talking about, but yes, that's the same idea. So what do you punch in? So they named the mummy Maria. Okay, gave her a name. They don't know the mummy's name. They just gave the mummy a name, Maria. So that's there. And now, what do you do for a date of birth? Right? So at that point, when everybody was standing around and going, okay, we need a date of birth. We need a number to punch in here so we can move on and get this scan done. Got to get that information in. The high school graduation year, or college graduation, high school graduation year popped up for somebody in the room. Who it was, that doesn't even matter. And that's where the 1997 comes in, which is 20 years ago. So that is the date that you see there. That's what got punched in for 1997. They go and they do the scans. When they set up and did some other scans the next day, same day, whatever, it doesn't even matter. They're also setting up that scan. They go to punch it in, and then they punched in 2017. Nothing nefarious, nothing crazy. This thing wasn't just had a CAT scan done that was in 1997. There wasn't any, some crazy conspiracy behind this where everybody's trying to break this down. And back to my point, I am glad I caught that. I know that there are people out there right now, as they should, breaking this down frame by frame by frame, like Allison looking at the teeth, right? Do it. Break this thing down. Us, with our collective hive mind, if there is something funky going on here, we will have the ability to get through this, to figure it out. If there is something funky, think about that. And that's what I encourage. I caught that in 1997. I saw it. I got a couple. I literally went, wait a minute. Whoa. What is that? And I went and grabbed it. And I looked and I froze it a couple of times, and I went back and I went, wow, that says 1997. I go to another part of the video, it says 2017. What's going on here? Doesn't even make any sense. It's 20 years apart. Is there something about that? Was this discovered years ago? Are we looking at old data? Are we looking at wrong data? Are we looking at something that isn't even associated with this mummy? What's going on here? Are we being lied to out of the gate in the first 8 seconds of this video? So I did my best to get to the bottom of it, and that was the answer that I'm given. And I'm serious. I went, okay. There you go. All right, let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Yeah.
You're live. Oh, man. I love it when people get nervous. So that's what I did. I called them out. I wasn't calling any. I just wanted answers. What is this 1997 date doing here? No matter what, we're at 2017. So what is this date popping up in your video? That doesn't make any sense. Now, I want to address something else really quick. And I know it's on everybody's mind, and that is Jaime Maussan. All right? Jaime is in the video. Jaime was contacted about this. This is what I've been told. Okay, Jaime was contacted from the person that discovered the mummy. Jaime turns around and contacts Gaia. All right, says, I have something here. Did Jaime discover it? Is he part of the chain of custody here? From what I can gather, no. But the fact that he was in the video freaked me out. Okay? I mean, I know what we all went through with Mexico City. Forget about the other stuff. I'm talking about my direct torture that I went through with Mexico City. I just don't want to go through that again. So surely Gaia knows this, right? Now, they have a decision to make here. Does Jaime go in the video, or do they not do that? If they don't have Jaime in the video when he was the go-between, and he deserves a little bit of credit here, and he's not there, later on down the road, if somebody finds out about Jaime and they bring that up, then Gaia's got to answer those questions. So does Gaia go the safe route, have Jaime in the video, and then deal with the backlash that is going to happen with him being in the video? Because I can assure you, I wasn't the only one, and they're doing that now all over the internet. Jaime's involved with this. It's a hoax, right? So Gaia is not only aware of this, but they've got to deal with this. Now, is it worse off a couple of months on down the road by not having Jaime in the video, and then everything turns out cool with the mummy and everything checks out, and now we're moving on to the next stage, and a friend of Jaime shows up and says Jaime's not giving it, he's not getting any credit for this. Now Gaia's got to answer for that. So what do you do there, right? Another cloud over this entire story. So, I don't know. So let's back up here. Why is Jaime in the video? It's of my opinion. I have not discussed this with anybody over at Gaia. I will do this tomorrow night with Jay, of course. Is why did you choose to have Jaime Maussan in the video if he was just the go-between guy, the proxy dude, the guy that introduced you to the guy, right? What's the reason for that? I truly don't know. I don't have any idea. I don't. But it had to have been considered out of the gate. I mean, from the word go, we have to deal with this Jaime Maussan issue because it is an issue. So I think that they chose to get out in front of it from the word go. And that's my opinion. Okay, right now I'm going to take a break. I do have calls on hold, and we will get to all of those right after the break. This is Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fadernight. We are talking about the Gaia video from Nazca, which shows something with 3 fingers and 3 toes, and it looks like it's 1,800 years old. 2 other bodies discovered. 3 eggs are inside of Maria. All of that when we come back. Stay with us.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter. But listening to Jimmy Church will.
So you went to dinner last night, you had your favorite pasta. Ugh. Or maybe you had a heavy, spicy meal and it left you. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Maybe you mowed down a huge steak and your plumbing is all plugged. Ugh. GetTheTea.com. Our super strength tea will take care of your occasional. Ugh. It's all organic and non-GMO. Get rid of ugh. We have so many great supplements, but our super tea is number one. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Fade to Black, Fadernight, Thursday night. Open lines all night long. I want to thank Jon Rappoport for coming in earlier. Always great. Very pragmatic. The best. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. You can follow me on Twitter at jchurchradio. That's what you want to do. Hashtag F2B is Twitter. I've just posted up in Twitter, so follow us on Twitter at jchurchradio, and hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Now, what we've got here, this is, and Rita is going to post up some x-rays too as well. And we're going to talk about those as we roll out. 323-825-5045, 323-275-9695 are the numbers to call. Now, the first image that I put up here, it's called pick number 1. Take a look at that. Open it up. It's high res. And there's a few things that I want you to notice here. Look at the face here. The reason why it's posted like this, that I've chosen this view, is look at how the chin protrudes. Okay, now we have the elongated skull there. You don't see any sutures on the top of the skull. That's the first thing. Now, is it because it's covered with something and the suture lines are filled? I think that you would see something. But here, you can clearly see the lack of sutures. So the skull is smooth and complete. But as you go down, you see the nose, which is, again, fascinating to me that kind of tissue is retained, right? There's no hole. The nose is actually there. But then look at the chin. Look at the shape and how it extends out. If it would be us today, a modern human, you wouldn't see that type of protrusion in the chin. I invite expert medical analysis here. I'm talking about my eyes when I see this. That's a very, very uniquely shaped skull. Now, it's one thing to have a soft skull where you're a child, you do the boarding and you shape the skull. Okay, we could dismiss a lot of different things there. But the chin, the jawbone, and the way that skull is sticking out there, it blows my mind. And my eyes are confused when I look at this. Okay, now more on this in a second. We'll come back to that. But now I want you to look at two things. Look at, obviously, the length of the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4 joints that are there. Okay? Now, I count 2 on my hand, right? 1, 2. Here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. That's pretty crazy. Now, why, how do you do that if it's fake? If it's fake, how do you do that? Now, but more interesting to me than that, as crazy as that sounds, we got 3 fingers that are nearly a foot long here. But let's go back. Let's go back to the hand itself where the knuckles are. Now, that area right there, to fake that, where you have the joints together, the bones underneath that go back to the wrist, now we are dealing with something that is very complex. And how are you going to, I don't care what kind of coroner you are, I don't care what kind of anthropologist, I don't care to start to reconstruct and to fake that type of bone structure there, right? I don't know how you complete that, and I don't know how you do it. But I'm more interested in the bones from the knuckles back and to the wrist, and how that completes into the 3 fingers that are following. That is extraordinary to me. So I don't know. Yeah, the length of the fingers, and there's only 3. There's no thumb. That's pretty trippy. Now, let's go to picture number 2. In picture number 2, and thank you for posting the x-rays here, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Let's go to picture number 2. What happened to it? Where's my picture number 2? Man, you guys are tweeting fools, man. I've lost my picture number 2. What is that? 100 tweets? My goodness gracious. Okay, now this is high def. Look at picture number. Oh, man, we got to go back to picture number 1 for a second, because before we get to picture number 2, in picture number 1, where the arms are overlapping over the knee, and I'm talking about the right arm, look at how the skin tissue is stretched over the knee. You see that? You see how that is stretched? You see that? How is that faked? You see the bones, you see the arm, you see this. So what I am suggesting here, with my untrained, unmedical eyes, that looks to me that is a real mummy with real skin that has been stretched over the knee and decomposed and gone to the state that it is in over a very long, extended period of time. But that's what that says to me right there. That doesn't look like, I want you to understand what I'm trying to say here. That doesn't look to me like it's something faked, like it's plaster of Paris or some Hollywood. It just doesn't look that way to me, not to my eyes. Okay, so remember that webbing there, that thing that's going on in the elbow. All right, now let's go to picture number 2. Picture number 2. Let's go to the same situation here. First off, look at the chin underneath here. Look at what's going on. Does that even remotely look like a modern human being? A modern chin? It does not. It's way in front of the ear. There is no ear there, by the way. We have an intact nose. We have intact eye tissue. We have all of that stuff that is going on, but yet the ears are just completely missing, right? With just holes. I don't understand that. I don't understand the fakery. Now let's go back to, and I want everybody to directly look at the wrist area. Look at the wrist area. Look what is going on, and look how it's connected to the 3 fingers. And notice how it is the same size, same width as the 3 fingers. Now go back and let's just connect this. This is without the x-rays. Now connect the fingers to the wrist going back to the arm. That's, to me, to my eyes, that's just all real. That's a real skeleton. That's a real situation that we're looking at here. It doesn't look like somebody somehow got these bones to all line up and look real and fake a doctor. Fake a biologist, fake somebody that is used to looking at human tissue and skeletons. It just doesn't look that way to me. So I think that we're looking at an actual mummy. That part, I don't think that this was recreated and made somewhere in a special effects lab in Peru, of all places, and then and placed under. I don't see that. But now let's go back to the same thing. Look at the arm. Look at the webbing there inside of the elbow, and now look at the skin tissue that is draped off of the bone on the bottom part of the bicep. And look how it's draped down, and now look really close. I have blown this up very, very large. That, my friends, is organic. It just is. There's no other explanation to that. That's not plaster of Paris. That's not something about that. Isn't that looks to me like mummy tissue, skin tissue. That is very, 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 very old. I don't think you can fake that. Now, the obvious thing that everybody is attracted to here, we're looking at picture number 2, is the fingers. Now, just go and look. We have fingernails, doesn't look normal, but look at the joints. Boom, 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 going all the way back with no thumb. Now, I have looked at different examples of X-rays. Did Rita post those? Did she post the deformities, the other X-rays? Rita, did you get those up? I don't see them here. We're gonna post up some pictures of X-rays of 3 fingers, and what happens underneath the skin with somebody that has got 3 fingers, because there's actually 4 that are there. They fuse together. And we don't see that with this X-ray. It's quite simply not there. Okay, so we're going to get those pictures up too. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Jimmy, this is Kendra in Ventura.
Hey, Kendra, how are you? Have you seen the video?
I have. I actually saw it as an ad on YouTube for something else I was watching.
Right.
So I didn't see the one that was posted on Twitter. I couldn't look at it for some reason during the call. I was doing something else, multitasking.
Right.
But I am really actually curious about Jaime, I forget his last name, and the whole Mexico situation you alluded to.
Right.
Could you clarify that for me, the background on that? Because I really don't know what the issue is.
Well,
if you would care to share that, and I'll take my answer off air.
Okay.
And,
all right.
Smoking the beans, Jimmy, smoking the beans, snapping the bass.
Thank you so much for the phone call. Okay, yeah, and okay. For those of you that don't know, and I keep alluding to the Mexico City debacle, man, it's such a long story. About 3 years ago, I was talking to Don Schmidt, and we were somewhere together. I believe it was Contact in the Desert. And he had told me at that time that he was in the possession of some photographs that were pretty amazing that showed something there, right? Showed something. And that turned into these slides that were found in the inside of a box of a trunk that belonged to a couple that lived in Texas that visited around the country and went all over New Mexico and other parts of the United States. And in this set of photographs that showed them with whoever was president at the time, and I think there was some White House, whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. It was all just a hoax. But in this set of slides was a picture of what looked like an alien that was on display, and it was an actual dead alien. And so all of these people got involved, and they investigated, and Kodak was involved. They checked out the film, the slides. Different biologists, anthropologists, doctors were pulled in to look at this, do rib counts, count this, that, measure, and that it was an alien. It was the first photograph of an alien, and Jaime Maussan decided to have an auditorium filled with people in Mexico City, pay-per-view, pay for tickets, show up, and they were going to reveal for the first time photographs of an actual alien. And it turned out, in a matter of minutes, it was completely debunked, and it was a photograph of a mummified baby that was at a museum somewhere in New Mexico. And that's what it was. And it was a hoax. Now, whether Jaime was in on it, I don't know. Was Jaime played? Well, if he wasn't in on it, then he was certainly played. Everybody that was involved with it was played. Everybody that paid for the pay-per-view was ripped off. Everybody that paid for those tickets to go sit in that auditorium was taken for a ride. And for Jaime, it damaged his reputation. And so now here we have this mummy video, this discovery of this mummy, and Jaime is once again involved. Now, does this discredit everything? It absolutely is a black cloud on all of this. And how to overcome this, that's on Gaia at this point. Now it comes down to the mummy. Is it real? Is it not? I don't care if it's an alien. That plays out later. I just want the mummy itself to be intact, to be real, and the hands and the feet and all of that to be unmolested, untouched, and something that we can closely study, research, DNA, carbon date, do all of the tissue sample testing that we need to do on this and try to figure out what we have. That's my take, and I'm going to stick by it. All right, let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Jason. How's it going?
Hey, Jason. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Great show this evening. This is an exciting time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is a completely... and I've said this so many times, man, we try to have the best guest on here. We try to do everything that we can, and we always have fun on the show, and we just bring on the best, man. Last night, Michael Mazzola was great. The night before, Ambassador Ihani. Night before that, Chris Hardy. Yep. Having guests on like this are great, and they allow me to just stay on message and get the best programming. But with all the cloud that formed over MUFON and some other things that happened over the last month, I am just so happy that we are able to talk about this and to look at these videos, look at this evidence, and trip out, discuss, debate, argue, fight, because it's fun. I love it.
Have it and just have it out there for everybody to take a look at, everybody to input, And that's what we need. We need everybody's input on this stuff. But going back to your roundtable discussion, I really think that the way you handled that had a lot to do with sort of the fizzling out of the negativity, whether people are going to admit to it or not. But really, I think it did, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh, well, that's cool. I appreciate. I don't know if I had anything.
I mean, really, because there was a lot of chatter leading up to that show and what it was going to be, what it wasn't going to be, and as soon as it was over, there was crickets from some areas of the net. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah. There's no reason to do that because I don't care, and I literally have not read or watched or cared or gone to any forums or people's posts or websites or I don't have the time, number one, but the other part of it is I really don't care. And so I don't know if the chatter has died down like you're referring to, but certainly you're out there and you see and if it has, and we had something to do with that, great. But certainly this alien mummy video will allow all of us to fight and argue about something else. And I love it, man.
Right.
What do you think of the video? What do you think?
The funny, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
What do you think of the video?
I absolutely love it. I find it intriguing. It is funny. I saw it a few days ago when you first brought it up on the show, and today my wife sent me a video. Have you seen this? And it's getting big when somebody who steers away from the topic is sending you videos about about this mummy they found. And, you know, I love it. I just can't wait to see what comes of it, quite frankly. I mean, my gut feeling is it's something. What it is, you know, whether we can call it alien or not. But the one thing I was looking at, and I just thought about this, I was talking with Rick on Twitter, you know, the idea of it not having a thumb really isn't that far-fetched of a concept, given the length of the digits. If those digits on that finger, they're so long, at any given time, one of those fingers could act as an opposing digit to create a thumb. There would be no reason, really, for it to have a thumb, given the length of its digits.
Yeah, and with that many joints, you've got a thumb. It's already built in. It just happened. You have 3 thumbs, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Any one of them could be a thumb.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a really good point.
So it just sort of lends a little bit of credibility. Like, why would somebody think to fake that, other than, you know, if they were just going to give them 3 fingers and make them short, they really wouldn't be functional. But for them to be that long, which I don't think is really anything I've seen anywhere in the depiction. Maybe there has, but it's not something that sticks out in my mind, because I was really surprised by the length of the fingers when I first saw it.
Right. Well, Nancy just posted up the abnormal hand with 3 fingers on it. Well, it's a thumb and 2 fingers, right? Okay, that's what it looks like. It looks like a thumb and 2 fingers, like a claw hand kind of thing. And then go and look at the X-ray of it. Look at the X-ray. That is crazy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
and that's
which is why we got to stay on it and just you know, eat up every little bit of information that comes from it, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, whatever it ends up being, let's just find out what it is.
Yep. And
you know?
And Rita just posted right before Nancy another X-ray of somebody with 3 hands. Now, if you look, see, this is the thing. This is what is not, it's the opposite of what we see in the X-rays and the CAT scans. The 3-fingered person, there are 4 bones in the palm of the hand, where the wrist, between the wrist and the knuckles, right? But 2 are fused together. Okay? Yeah. And so ultimately they fuse together, but there's actually 4 bones there, or 3, you know, however you want to count it. But they for some reason they fuse together. Then go back to the wrist area. And that's where I want everybody to focus on, too, on this mummy. Look at the wrist area. That's just as important as the fingers, believe it or not. They have to all match. They have to all line up. You can't have the wrist of a cow and the palm of some other animal, a seal, and then fingers from something. It doesn't work that way. You can't do it, and it's not going to fake the psych the medical community out. They're going to be able to look at that and go, well, these are bones from different animals. This was assembled. Right. You know, this is just some crazy hoax. So when you look at that and you look at these X-rays here of the normal situation of a deformity with somebody that's got 3 fingers, that's not the case of what we are seeing in the X-rays from the alien mummy. I call it the alien mummy. I don't know if it's alien yet. I just want people to know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's alien to us because we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So
well,
you might as well just keep calling it alien until we find out.
So what do you wait? Now, I want to ask you this before I let you go, because we're at the end of the show. But let's just say, Jason, let's say that the mummy is real, that the bones are real, everything plays out that we have an actual mummy with 3 fingers and 3 toes. How many years do you think it's going to be before somebody steps forward in an official capacity and says, okay, this is off planet?
Well, like with any great change, it's going to be generational, frankly. I mean, how long did it take for them to finally come around to the fact that the Earth was round? By the way it is.
Yep.
You know, so it's an indeterminate amount of time. They'll be arguing about it for a long time to come. There's not going to be a sea change where somebody comes out like, oh, okay, we got it now. Yeah, aliens exist. You know, it's going to take a long time.
It is, and that's why I keep telling everybody, let's start with figuring out that this is an unmolested, untouched, real, actual mummy, and then we enjoy the ride, because it is going to be a long, long road. It's not going to be something that's going to happen next week.
Yep, that's the truth. And actually, another thing I was thinking, it's almost like all the teeter pictures. You know, you can't disprove it. Nobody's come forward to disprove it, yet it's still lingering out there. Like, is it true? Is it not true? It could be the same way with this. Well, we got a mummy, but is it off-world? Is it here? It just could linger for a long time, but it's going to be fun.
Yep.
No matter what it is, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great ride, Jason. Thank you for the phone call, my friend. Be safe out there.
Thank you, sir.
And don't forget, tomorrow night, Coast to Coast, we'll have Jay Widener on from Gaia. And then my guest tomorrow night is David Wilcox. So we'll see you tomorrow night. I'm also hosting Coast, everybody, Saturday night. And we're going to have Chad Kalick on and Sir No Face. And he's never been on Coast. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll be over at Coast all weekend. And after I sign off here in a few minutes, I got to go back to work and get ready for the next few days. So you guys enjoy Coast to Coast, and then we'll see you after Coast. We'll see you back here on Monday. Thank you, Jason. I think I lost Jason. Jason, good night. Okay. All right. I'll let that go. Oh, yeah. Now, this is the other thing, and I want to thank everybody that called in tonight. Great phone calls. Absolutely back to back. And I wanted to talk more. I have more stuff to talk about when it comes to this video, but we'll pick up everything tomorrow night with Jay Widener. But there's this. Here we have what could be something pretty dramatic and life-changing, earth-changing, history-changing, mankind changing. And it will not be enough or definitive for anything to happen, right? Just like, and I mentioned earlier, just like a UFO, that flying saucer on the White House lawn, disclosure, right? If it happened tomorrow, it wouldn't be good enough. Wouldn't be. No. Maybe for us, but not for them. Not for the skeptics. Not for the debunkers. I wanted to address Snopes. Somebody posted up, Jimmy, what did you think about the Snopes article? Okay. I've actually gone to Snopes over the years a couple of times where I needed to check on a hoax or check on a fake news story. And, you're vetting and, so you go to different sources, and Snopes has always been one. The problem with websites out there right now that are posting, fake mummy video by hoax or whatever, I'm making up headlines here, but those headlines I'm sure are out there. I don't care about them. I'm not going to go and read them. And the reason is anybody that has posted anything out there right now at this point, this stage of the game, has no idea what the bleep they're talking about. Anybody that writes anything, they have no scientific analysis. They have nothing to consider, nothing at all, nothing. All right. And that includes the people that think it is an alien mummy. You have nothing to base anything on. You have no scientific. There is nothing out there. There just is not anything there yet. For Snopes to go out and post something is completely, at this stage of the game, it involves their credibility. You need to, if you're going to be Snopes, or if you're going to be a website out there that is going to talk negatively about this, have bullets in your gun. Because right now, with everybody, friends of mine and not, it's your opinion. That's all you got. It's only opinion. Okay? That's it. So everybody, have a great night. Behave. Be well. We'll see you tomorrow night on Coast to Coast AM. My guest tomorrow night will be Jay Widener from Gaia. We're going to talk about the alien mummy. And then, of course, the one and only David Wilcock. And then on Saturday, Chad Kalick and Sir No Face. Sunday, I'll be sleeping. Monday, we're going to do a full 2-hour presentation here on Fade to Black with Jay Widener from Gaia on this video. We'll present some new evidence, and we'll take this thing continuing down the road and moving forward. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by LJ Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar, Fady by Dale, Webmaster Drew, The Geek, music Doug Aldrich, intro Spaceboy, SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, syndication KGRA, The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody that called in tonight. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.